So a little bit more about me than people already know. I grew up in the UK. I left the UK after university when I was 21, and I went to Hong Kong, and I joined the Royal Hong Kong Police Force as a police inspector. So I was in the police in Hong Kong for 3.5 years. And then I decided to leave the police, and I started working for a famous international bank.
Most asked question, what do you like about me?
I think you're very enthusiastic and optimistic about things, and sometimes I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Our life has always been too busy, and sometimes I don't have enough time to do the things that I want to do or need to do, and that frustrates me. So sometimes when you come out with suggestions like, let's go to the mountains to pick mushrooms, or let's go on a trip to Cardona. I mean, they're two recent examples, but sometimes my initial reaction is like, can we just slow down a bit? But you're, often sort of planning ahead, thinking of things to do, and I think that's great. I think you do a great job. Food and cooking and shopping and making sure that the kids have what they need in terms of clothes, and like we just had Halloween, for example, and unfortunately the kids couldn't go to school that day because we had to do coronavirus tests. Okay, but you always make sure that the kids, especially the young kids, have what they need, for costumes, or at the Japanese school there's a lot of preparation that you as a mother did to make sure the kids always have things ready at school. If that was me, I'd be hopeless at that.
Oh, really?
Like Halloween, they'd tell me on the morning when they're getting ready to go to school, by the way, I need a Halloween costume, and I'd be searching around for things that I couldn't find. You do a really good job of that. So yeah.
Okay.
But you're quite disorganized. Very disorganized, actually.
Well, I have so many things to do.
I know, but you should try to keep things tidier,
Yeah, but I have to cook like 3 times a day, and after that, I feel, like in the morning, I feel like I'm gonna tidy up here and here and here, but I cook obento, and after I did the editing, one video, and sort everything, social media, I'm like, should I do yoga?
Yeah.
Then already lunchtime, then already dinner time. そうですね。the 日本文化のありえないところ、the something that you think it's no way culture in Japan.
I think how people or organisations sometimes blindly follow the rules when clearly it is against common sense. I mean,
Like
some of the things we had at the Japanese school, for example, where there are rules in place, and you can see some logic for why those rules were in place, but then situations arise where some flexibility should clearly be applied.
Yeah.
It's
like,
not.
do you have an example?
Difficult to think of. I mean, some of the things with Japanese school, I mean, remember you arguing with the Japanese school in Hong Kong about something with Tom, and we had a couple of meetings with the Japanese school here in Barcelona, Yeah, I just think a little bit more flexibility sometimes. That's the main thing. But other cultural things which I never really kind of understood or really bought into. For example, if you go to a restaurant, maybe tatami restaurant, right? Going to the bathroom, or if it's a restaurant, where you're wearing your shoes. Sometimes the performance you have to, you're juggling slippers all over the place. Like you have to take slippers off, and then before you go into the bathroom, there's new slippers to get into the bathroom, right? Which you're supposed to wear while you're in the bathroom, and then you leave those in the bathroom and come out, and then put other slippers on, and then go back to the table. And for me, my feet are UK size 11. What's that, like 46 EU? Okay. The slippers are always like about half size. So sometimes, sorry guys, sometimes I don't bother following all the slipper rules.
Okay, and where is the 住みやすかった一番住みやすかった都市はどこですか？ which city is 住みやすい? Like more, you feel more comfortable with?
Where in the world? In the world? Probably Hong Kong. Yeah, but Hong Kong has changed quite a lot. I mean,
yeah, it's now really a problem. Yeah.
I've spent many years living there. Before I met you, and also since we got married and had a family.
Yeah.
But it's quite a few years since we left there, and it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
So, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
Tokyo, when I left, I felt very comfortable there.
子育てで一番大変だったことは何ですか？ What's the most difficult thing to raise kids?
I think having 6 is a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially having moved country and house so many times. I keep a list of all the places I've lived in, including service departments and hotels, when that's been my home, when I have moved to different countries, and I've had 50 different homes on that list, which is just too many. So we have moved country a lot, we've moved house a lot, kids have moved between schools quite a lot. Actually, since we came to Europe, almost all of that time, even when I was working in Malta, most of that time the kids were in school in Barcelona. So actually, for the last 8 or 9 years, the kids have had relative stability in terms of schooling in Barcelona, which has been good. I don't think we can claim to be expert parents, but we have done a lot in terms of moving around with a lot of kids. And I think in some ways it's not ideal. There's a lot of disruption, a lot of change, but on the other side of the coin, the kids gain a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about the world and different people.
Okay.
But it's been really busy. Really busy. Too busy, actually.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. 女の子が生まれて変わったことはありますか？ Anything changed after Lee and Nico, their girl especially?
Yeah.
You have changed so much. I can't believe.
What?
You have changed.
Me?
The way as a parent, as a father. You're so nice to them. Kai and Kazu always complain. How you treat them is so different from how you treated, Tomato. You remember? I remember when Jun went to his friend's house, but his room was messy. His drawer was open and his clothes was, on the floor, and the light was on. So you called him up and asked him to come back. He get a train to come back and tidy up the room. But every day Ria and Rico's room is exactly the same.
Yeah, but girls are your responsibility.
No, you have to tell them too.
That's your job. They're girls.
No.
Right?
Okay, also okay. You leave it up to me.
No, but
Okay.
it's been really nice to have daughters. We have a good friend. I have a good friend who has several daughters, and you know, we had several boys, and you know, sometimes we used to compare notes. You know, I remember hearing about how peaceful and nice it was having girls in the house, how happy it was, and whereas for us, I mean, you know, we love our boys a lot as much as we love the girls, but sometimes it's a bit chaotic and you know, different atmosphere, but having girls, I think it really does bring something special into the world.
Yeah.
And I think I've learnt a lot actually since we had girls. You know,
Okay.
about me, about kids. Yeah, it's I think it's something special. Maybe it's because I'm a father. You know, maybe mothers feel the same about sons. I don't know, but I'm glad we've got both,
Yeah.
and they're all healthy and doing okay.
Yeah. You think you'd be sad if they get married?
No,
Okay.
maybe a bit thoughtful, but I think the most important thing is I want them to have a good life and be happy and not have problems. That's what I hope for most. Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2", so what's that? I think it's 186 centimeters.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm shrinking now. What do you think?
Maybe.